Now, I know what you're thinking. You heard that title and you're picturing some fierce woman who marched out the front door with her head held high. Some kind of victory story. It's not that. I'm sitting in my daughter Denise's spare bedroom. I've been here 11 months. I have a garden out back. Denise let me tear up a corner of her yard. And I have a bank account with my name on it. First one I've ever had. 79 years old, and I just learned what my own signature looks like on a check. So before you decide I'm brave, or crazy, or cruel, let me tell you what actually happened. Not the version that sounds good at a dinner party, the real one. It started with a restaurant receipt. Denise was visiting. This was about 2 years ago. I was 77. And we were sitting at my kitchen table, going through the mail because my eyes aren't what they used to be. She picked up Earl's credit card statement. I never looked at those. That was his domain, 53 years, and I never once opened a statement. And she said, "Well, Mama, why is there a charge from a restaurant in Roanoke?" I said Earl was probably up there fishing with his friend Hank. Denise looked at me and said, "Mama, this is a Tuesday, at a place called Bellini's. Hank eats at Cracker Barrel." Now, my mother, Ruth, God rest her, told me something the week before I married Earl. We were in her kitchen in North Carolina, and she took my hands and she said, "A good wife doesn't go looking for trouble. If he comes home to you, that's enough." I carried that sentence for 53 years, like a stone in my pocket. I reached for it every time something felt off. Every time Earl was a little too late, a little too absent, a little too somewhere else. I'd touch that stone, and I'd say, "He comes home to you, that's enough." So when Denise showed me that receipt, I did what my mother taught me to do. I put it away. I didn't ask Earl about it. I changed the subject and I made us both some tea, and I folded that statement and put it in the drawer with all the others I'd never opened. But here's the thing about looking away. Once someone points at the thing you've been refusing to see, you can't unfocus your eyes again. You just can't. I started noticing. Little things first. Earl would come home from his fishing trips and his clothes wouldn't smell like the lake. They'd smell like soap, like he'd showered before he came home. His phone would buzz at 9 at night and he'd take it into the workshop. He'd been doing these things for years, probably. Decades, maybe. I just hadn't let myself see them. Then I found the second phone. It was in his workshop, in a coffee can on the top shelf, behind his drill set. I wasn't snooping, that's what I told myself. I was looking for a screwdriver, but I was snooping. For the first time in 53 years, I went looking for trouble. The phone had one contact in it, no name, just a number, and a thread of messages that went back 3 years on that phone. But the way they wrote to each other, the ease of it, the shorthand. This wasn't 3 years, this was a decade, maybe 2, maybe more. I sat on the workshop floor with that phone, and I read every single message. I didn't cry, not then. I just read. And with every message, another year of my marriage rewrote itself. That time he missed Denise's college graduation because of a work emergency. That weekend he said he was helping Hank move. The way he'd come home and kiss me on the forehead. Same spot every night for 34 years, and then disappear into his workshop until dinner. I used to think that kiss meant something. Sitting on that workshop floor, I realized it might have been the same as the yellow roses. The roses. Every birthday, 53 years, Earl brought me yellow roses. I thought that was love. You know what it was? I called the florist after I found the phone. Standing order. Set it and forget it. Those flowers weren't a choice Earl made every year. They were a task he'd automated. Like the electric bill. I sat with all of it for 2 weeks. I didn't tell Earl. I didn't tell Denise. I sat in that marriage like I'd been sitting in it for 53 years, quiet and still, and waiting for someone to tell me what to do. Except this time there was nobody to ask. My mother was gone. The church would say, forgive. My friends would say, leave. None of them had spent 53 years building a life just to find out the foundation was hollow. And then one morning, I drove downtown to First National Bank and I opened a checking account. The teller was a young woman, very sweet, and she asked me, "Is this a joint account?" I said, "No, just mine." 2 words. I want you to understand something. I was 78 years old and I had never in my life said just mine about money. Earl handled the finances. Earl's name was on everything. I had an allowance. He didn't call it that, but that's what it was. A card he put money on each month. Like a child's lunch account. I didn't clean him out in a night. I want to be honest about that. I was methodical. Over 3 weeks, I transferred money. I cashed out a portion of his retirement account and paid the penalties, and I didn't care. I bought things I'd never bought myself. Not diamonds, not furs, a deposit on an apartment, clothes that weren't from the clearance rack, a plane ticket to see my sister in Savannah, first time in 9 years. People think I felt powerful. I didn't. I felt like a woman who'd been paying into a marriage for 53 years. With her time, with her body, with her silence, with every dinner and every ironed shirt, and every night she didn't ask the question she should have asked, and was finally writing herself a check. I didn't spend his money. I spent my time, 53 years of my time, and I put a price on it. The morning I decided to leave, I was in my garden, 6 a.m., hands in the dirt, and I realized that garden was the only thing in 53 years of marriage that was mine. I chose the seeds. I decided what grew. Earl never touched it. It was the one corner of my life where I existed without permission. I packed 1 suitcase that afternoon, drove to Denise's house, didn't leave a note. I'd left Earl enough words over 53 years. He never read any of them. Now, I need to be honest with you about something, because if I just tell you the part where I took the money and left, I'm not telling you the whole truth, and I'm 79. I don't have time left for half-truths. Earl was not a bad husband. That's the part that'll break your heart if you let it. He wasn't bad. He wasn't mean. He didn't drink. He didn't raise his hand to me. Not once. He went to work every day for 38 years. He taught Denise to ride a bike. He held my hand at my mother's funeral. He just wasn't all the way there. And I pretended not to notice because noticing would have meant I had to do something about it. He grew up in a house where you didn't talk about things. His father worked, his mother kept house, and whatever happened between them stayed behind closed doors. Earl married me and did exactly what he'd been shown. He provided. He was present, physically at least. And the parts of him that needed something else, something I couldn't give or he couldn't ask for, those parts went somewhere else. To Roanoke, apparently. I'm not excusing it. I need you to hear that. What he did was a betrayal. Years of lying to my face, years of kissing me on the forehead and then going to call another woman from his workshop. That is not nothing. But I also know this. I built a life around not knowing. I kept the house perfect and the meals on time. And I never once said, "Earl, are you happy? Earl, am I enough? Earl, where do you go when you go quiet?" I never asked, because my mother told me not to, and because I was afraid of the answer. We were both living in that silence. He built it and I furnished it. Mama, you should have told me to go looking. I think about those yellow roses, the standing order, no thought required. But here's the thing, in 53 years he never cancelled it, never forgot. Even with whatever else was happening in Roanoke, some part of Earl made sure those roses showed up at my door every single year. I don't know what that means. I'm 79 years old, and I don't know if yellow roses from a standing order count as love. Maybe they do. Maybe that's the saddest part. Earl and I haven't spoken in months. We're not divorced. At our age, it almost doesn't matter. I don't hate him. I thought I would. But I don't. I grieve him. I grieve the marriage I thought I had. And I grieve the woman I was inside it, the one who was so busy being a good wife that she forgot to be a whole person. I'm living in Denise's spare bedroom now. Every morning she brings me coffee in black, no sugar, the way I actually like it, not the way I drank it for 53 years. Because that's how Earl made it, and I never corrected him. I have my garden, I have my bank account, I have my name on things. If you're sitting in a marriage right now and something doesn't feel right, listen to me, not to my mother, to me. Go looking, ask the question, open the statement, check the phone. Not because you want to catch someone, because you deserve to know the truth of your own life. And if you've been disappearing into the role, into the routine, into someone else's version of who you are, do one thing this week that's just yours. Not to punish anyone, not to prove a point, just to remind yourself you're still in there. I didn't leave Earl because of the affair. I left because I finally realized I'd been leaving myself for 53 years. My garden is coming in nicely. I planted tomatoes this year. Earl was allergic, so I never grew them before. 53 years of marriage, and I never once grew the thing I wanted because it would have made him sneeze. That tells you everything, doesn't it? If this found you at the right time, share it with someone who needs to hear it.